What's up, Bucs fans? Pretty sombering night at Raymond James last night. I'm Samar Ali with the Loose Cannons podcast on the 813 network. Listen, I consider Todd Bowles a friend of mine. We talk here and there. You know, obviously you guys have seen, myself and the Loose Cannons and all sorts of different videos and events with Todd. He's an awesome dude. I think he's one of the, best defensive coordinators the NFL's seen throughout, its history. But there are some questions that I need answers to, man. I mean, all offseason we heard about Vita Vea losing weight, getting in shape, and that was supposed to equate to being able to see him play more plays. I understand he can't play every single play. Okay. I get it. I totally understand it. But I don't understand how you go into a game against an MVP candidate in Lamar Jackson and an absolute alien of a human being in Derrick Henry, and your plan to stop that monster juggernaut of an offense, especially on the ground, is to take out your best players in hockey shifts. I understand Cansey or Vita or Yaya or Hall or Golston, whoever's on the line, having to take a breather, take them out a couple of plays. But this whole like hockey shift mentality of the entire defensive line leaving the game at one time just doesn't make sense. It happens in college football for the Alabamas, the Texases, the Georgias of the world who have a very slight, if any, drop off at all between their 8 guys. But this is the NFL. It's rare, if not never, to have 2 starting caliber defensive lines across 4 bodies twice. So 8 guys. It doesn't happen. So when you are facing a team like this, you want your best guys, you want your stars on the field, because that's the point of having stars, is to put them on the field to stop the other team's stars. Vita Vea, Elijah Cansey, stars. Yaya, star in the making. All these guys like JTS, not a star, but an important part of the play. From him to the guy underneath him to Anthony Nelson, no offense, pretty big drop off. From Cansey and Vita to Greg Gaines and Brown, who I don't even know his first name, massive drop off. Now, I get it. If you want to take him out for an entire series, I could justify that. That's fine. But the Ravens had an entire series on offense in the second quarter where they went down the field and they scored against our B team defensive line. Okay. Then the Bucs got the ball, went on offense for a pretty long drive, not 11 minutes, but a decent lengthy drive, go, to the red zone, throw an interception. Okay. Now that's 2 offensive possessions, if you're counting the Ravens and the Bucs. Vita, Cansey, the boys that are starters are on the sidelines. Okay. That doesn't even count TV timeouts, injury stoppage, the 2 punts that also include TV timeouts, and the kickoffs. I mean, not the punts, the kickoffs. Okay. So take all that into consideration. Now, the next defensive drive, when the Ravens have the ball, it's a quick turnaround with the turnover. You would think the A-team defensive line would be on the field. They've had an entire 2 offensive possessions to stand on the sidelines. But no, the entire B team comes out yet again. And what happens? The Ravens, who are so good, by the way, against starters for other teams, are now going against a backup team. I don't care if you have Levante on the field. I don't care that you have Antoine and Zion and Jordan Whitehead, who had a terrible game. You have all those guys on the field, but when those blitzes go in and you have starting caliber players holding up the blocking and demanding double teams and demanding attention and demanding strength, the blitzes get home. We saw it in the first quarter. They work. But when you do that with guys like Greg Gaines on the front line, most guys in the Ravens offensive line could have blocked him with one hand. He's not special. And those blitzes are now a waste of time, a complete waste of time. And what did the Ravens do? They marched down the field and they scored again. And this happened throughout the night. When you are facing a team of stars, why are you not putting your stars on the field against them? It does not make sense to me. I cannot justify it in any way. And those of you who were commenting on some of my tweets last night, oh, they're probably saving them for the Atlanta game on Sunday. That's not how this works. That's not how the NFL works. It's a week-to-week league. These guys are focused on the game in front of them. The only time that mentality ever enters is when you have shored up a playoff spot and you're considering resting some guys to make sure you have them for the games that matter, because those games in front of you at that point don't matter. But this is not the case. It's week fucking 7. It's week 7. Kalijah Cansey does not need to rest. I'm sorry. Yeah, he doesn't need to play every play, but he's taken off 6 weeks. Okay? He could have, he's played 1.5 games at this point. He doesn't need a blow. Vita Vea, we heard all offseason, lost a lot of weight. Now he can play more. Won't have to see him in shifts. What is he resting for then? What was the point of all that? Yaya Diaby, guy's young, doesn't need to rest in shifts like that. It doesn't make any sense. It will never make sense to me. I will never understand why that's happening. And no offense to Todd Bowles, great guy, okay? Like I said, a friend of mine. I consider him a friend. But man, I'm starting to wonder if the question has to start to creep up. As much as they love playing for him and as much as they give him and as much as he's able to motivate these guys, there are moments where you question whether he actually holds this team back. Will they stop them and win the game? Is the score different? I don't know. But why would you even try it without your starters? It doesn't make sense. And I'm not even going to get into the whole Chris Godwin, Mike Evans thing. I'll save that for the show. But for this little video, I got to wonder, man, as much as Todd is able to get out of these guys, is he also holding them back in a way? We've seen, weird usage of guys in the past. We've seen zone when we shouldn't be running zone with certain guys and vice versa. We have KJ Britt out there who should not be playing NFL football. No offense. Guy's a special teamer. Guy's a run stopper sometimes. But again, why are we shifting the defensive line in these hockey shifts? Make it make any sense to me, because there's no way to do that. It doesn't add up. You're playing against a star-studded team. You put your best against their best, and you stop them. That's why you get stars, to stop other stars and to play better than other stars, to beat other stars. I don't understand it. I just don't fucking get it. And it's really starting to make me question. And no offense to Todd, I'm starting to really question at this point whether Todd's holding some of these players back and holding this team back from truly reaching what it could be. What it could be. We have a talented roster. Okay, aside from a couple of spots, we have a very talented roster on both sides of the ball. And we played well in the trenches when our starters were in there on defense. But man, it just does not make sense to me to look over there on the sidelines from my seat and see the entire starting unit standing on the sidelines like this, waiting for their shot for 3 straight possessions. Do they need more than 3 straight possessions of fucking rest? Go ask them that. I guarantee you they're going to say no. Make that shit make sense.